Welcome to the Niners Radio 49 special, our 2024 preseason or our season preview. And our special guest is from the 49er UK. He's been a 49er lifer out there in the UK from London, Lee Gowland. He has his own podcast, yours truly, Professor B, here in the Bay Area as we're doing this taping. Welcome, welcome, Lee. It's been a
Cheers,
while
Brian.
since we last talked. It was back in around in early December when we previewed that 49er Philadelphia Eagles game. The Niners end up dominating that game. It was a key of the Niners getting that the number one seed in the NFC. So a lot has happened since then. They lost
Yeah,
the Super Bowl heartbreaker again. We're one stop away from winning that sixth ring.
yeah. A lot has happened. Heartbreaking for everybody over in the UK. The 49ers threw an official watch party for us at Leeds United Football Club. There was 500 of us there that night. It was absolutely heartbreaking, as you said. There was a little bit of a sweetener for me. I managed to win £1,000 that night on Jawan Jennings because I had him down as a potential MVP candidate, and I got some quite good odds on him. So even though I was disappointed that we didn't bring home number six, I actually ended up leaving the venue £1,000 richer. So
Oh,
you can't grumble.
yeah, yeah. So a lot has happened. But that's then. This is now a new season, and of course, the big story of the day out here in the Bay Area: Brandon Ayuk signing that contract extension late Thursday afternoon yesterday, as he's going to get that new contract deal. So, congratulations to Brandon Ayuk. He's going to be a 49er. Now, all we got to see when Trent Williams will be coming
Yeah,
back, and he's kind of on a non-injury we're going to see how things happen as we're within 9 days from now when the Niners will be playing, kicking off the 2024 campaign as they begin their title defense as the champions of the National Football Conference when they take on the New York Jets to kick off on Monday Night Football at the Mecca at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara.
yeah. That signing or the release of the news of Brandon Ayuk's signing was really badly timed as far as we were concerned in the UK. We had literally just finished recording our roster review show, and at the
Mm-hmm.
start of the roster review show, we actually did a segment on the Brandon Ayuk contract, in which I spent 10-15 minutes going into full-on rant mode about the fact that if he's not going to sign, just get rid of him, trade him. And then literally, I think it was 45 minutes after we finished recording, the news broke that he'd signed the contract. And that's not the first time this has happened to us. That's happened a few times where we've been waiting on news and it's broken literally within the hour of us finishing recording. So that was a bit unlucky as far as we were concerned. If you believe the rumours, he signed a contract that was put in front of him 4 weeks ago, and that hasn't been altered. I know his agent shot that down, but then again, his agent's bound to shoot it down because if he has signed a contract that was put in front of him 4 weeks ago, he now looks a little bit foolish that he's
Mm-hmm.
held in for the last 4 weeks. So I'm glad it's over. Now it's on to Trent. Let's get him signed, and hopefully we don't have too much of an impact through BA not practicing with Purdy. I don't think we'll have much of an impact from Trent not practicing. Obviously, he's a veteran, as is BA by all intents and purposes. But Trent Williams is the more important of the two. So we need to get him sorted as soon as possible.
Right. So you're looking at so as we're looking at you know looking at the season, the Niners. A lot of
Yeah,
people feel that this is an opportunity. You know, uh, with this roster. Let's just take a look into that roster. With the team this this team this upcoming season. The 49ers, of course, been so close of getting there to the big game, winning the six. They what then you look at in the last 5 years, they they end up they end up falling. They lost to the Chiefs in the first matchup in the Super Bowl when they had a 20-10 lead, and they were a little less than 6.5 minutes away from winning that sixth ring, and then also and then they end up fall, and then they didn't even make the playoffs in 2020, the COVID year, the
Yeah.
strange COVID year, and then 21 was a bounce back. They had the 10-point lead, and only a Jakarski drop ball, routine fly ball, playing in short, their deep center field, routine fly ball, drops a can of corn, and that led to the Rams' comeback. And then they get back into the NFC Championship game, this time with Brock Purdy. Then they get beat when Purdy gets hurt. Um, it was all Eagles from that point, and then up to this point now that they feel that this is an opportunity now. Hopefully, they can get back there and finally win that sixth ring.
Yeah, I think overall, looking at the roster, we're a stronger team than what we were last year. There's only one position group which I'm currently sat on the fence. I'm not quite sure whether we're a little bit stronger or a little bit weaker, and that would be the defensive line. But overall, when you have a look at everywhere else on the actual roster, all the different position groups, I think we're quite strong. I think at linebacker, I think that's the strongest we've been for a long time. You look at the safety room, that looks as though it's
Hmm.
the strongest it's been for a long, long time as well. Even the quarterbacks with both Josh Dobbs and Brandon Allen there, they've both played well during pre-season. It's been great not having a quarterback controversy. We've got three capable quarterbacks now. Let's hope we don't need to use either Josh Dobbs or Brandon Allen, because Brock Purdy's the main guy and he can take us there. As far as the defensive line is concerned, we obviously lost Eric Armstead, but he had some injuries, and I believe he's injured now at the moment on the Jags. So you couldn't really rely on him to get through a full season. And I think it's a long time since he has played a full season. So we need Yvonne Hargrave to step up, because to me, he was a little bit of a disappointment last year. It's going to be interesting to see how Malik Collins plays, because I think he's going to have a big hole to fill. I know a lot of people didn't like Yvonne Kinlaw. I thought Yvonne Kinlaw towards the back end of last season started playing like the first round pick that we needed him to play as. He'd getting over his injuries. He'd started to be quite successful against the run. So we need somebody in there to be that run stopper, and hopefully Malik Collins will step up and be that person. It's a little bit worrying with the injuries. We've had a few injuries in pre-season that have crept up
Right.
on us.
And that
Hopefully they're not
CMC,
too...
the McCaffrey
Yeah,
didn't even play a single snap in preseason. Got to rest those tires, that calf. I call it the tire, one of his tires, because he need those tires for a long season. So he's going to be okay.
yeah. I mean, George Kittle was carrying a knock early on in pre-season. Um, Leonard Floyd and Yitar Gross Matos, they both picked up injuries, which was a little bit concerning. We banged up a little bit on O-line. Obviously, Trent Williams is holding out at the moment. Aaron Banks is carrying an injury. John Feliciano, he's on short-term IR. So we are
They
banged
got
up a
two,
little
and then
bit.
I think Ambry Thomas as well. They're both on
Yeah,
IR, both eligible to return. Unfortunately, Elijah Mitchell has been placed on the full IR, season-ending injured reserve, so he's not going to play at all this year. He probably ultimately will get cut or waived off the 49ers 53-man roster. Maybe they add someone down the road for from the or some people going to be elevated to the practice squad though too. They're taking some of the spots for now.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ambry Thomas, you mentioned him there. I was actually quite surprised he made the 52. I thought as soon as he broke his arm in pre-season, I thought that, well, that's it. They'll cut Ambry Thomas. I expected them to keep my guy, Sammy Womack. Unfortunately, he's gone now, and he's Indianapolis Colt. So I was a little bit disappointed with that, because I don't feel as though Womack was given the opportunity to play. But to be honest, the writing was on the wall since the NFC Championship game. Womack was one of our better special team players, and he didn't even suit up at the NFC Championship and again in the Super Bowl. So it was obvious to myself and a lot of the guys over here in the UK that Womack had fallen foul of the Kyle Shanahan temper, which Brandon Ayuk did in his first season, and Diarmuid Leno as well. And I don't think there was any way back from him then. So, I mean, I was predicting, even before the Super Bowl, I expect Sammy Womack to get cut, even though I think he's a better player than Ambry Thomas.
Right. And also, you know, I mean, how was that last year? I didn't get it. So how was the Super Bowl party in London? The timing, it was 3:45, 3:30 our time on the West Coast. So that thing didn't start till about what 4 o'clock in the morning UK time, right?
No, so it'll be in quarter midnight. So
A
we were
quarter of
in Leeds,
midnight.
not London. So Leeds is in the north of England. That started, it was scheduled to start at 11:30, so half an hour before midnight. I didn't think it kicked off until quarter to midnight, so it was running about 15 minutes late. Most of us had been out pretty much since 12 o'clock on the Sunday afternoon. So we'd had a good 12 hours drinking time, which with some people you could tell, others not so much. But yeah, it was a really good atmosphere. And to be honest, it wasn't until that final drive where the Chiefs had the ball that the belief started to ebb away a little bit there. I think going back to the Super Bowl, there was 2 points in the game where I thought Shanahan wasn't aggressive enough. And that was towards the end of the first half, where we had plenty of time to actually do something with the ball, but he didn't. He played too conservative. And then at the end of our first drive in overtime, when he decided to go for a field goal rather than go for it on fourth down, because we were 4th and 3. We didn't need to get into the end zone. We just needed 3 yards. And we'd been moving the ball really well against that defense all game long. I think it's unfortunate that on that third down, Spencer Burford went the wrong way. You could put that down to the complexity of Shanahan's offense. Maybe at that particular point in the game, a high pressure point, we needed to just do something basic so that everybody was on the ball with that. I mean, you can blame Spencer Burford all you want, but it was a complex play that he dialed in there.
Right, right, right. Hold on one second. There we go. So I got expanded light on there, so get a little more light in my room. Yeah. So also, and then also we had some of the plays. A lot of plays. You know, but yeah. So I couldn't imagine how that was tough to lose that game over in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we lose one of the red eye games, which is what we call any game that starts just before midnight or just after midnight, it's tough to take. But when you're in such a big group of people, it's a lot easier because everybody's going through the same thing. If we were just sat at home watching the game during the night, then it is quite tough to take because your emotions are running high.
And then
It
you have to
doesn't
go to
finish
work the
until
next day, later that day,
exactly,
mentally.
yeah,
Fortunately, yours truly is work from home remotely, independently doing this, so it was not that bad. But I'm gonna be honestly, when they were at my best friend's brother's house over in the St. Francis, Sir Francis Circle over there off of Monterey Boulevard in the city. That's going like as you make the turn, as you like right near West Portal. If you make that turn on Sir Francis Circle Drive, you're heading towards Ocean Beach to the via Outer Sunset District, right near Lake Merced. If you ever go out to Lake Merced, great place to check out. Uh, I was really, to be honestly, it was like I had a lot. I really wasn't tripping off because I had my other gig doing college baseball play-by-play. I did not. I was uncertain whether I was going to sign on with a Division 1 program. I did 24 years at University of San Francisco, but unfortunately, and then I left that program because of a lot of controversy. It went down to the program. It was just an ugly situation, and my mentor for baseball uh, was fighting for his to get cleared. I'm not going to get into full detail. Then I went to St. Mary's over at Moraga. Another one of his former assistants was the head coach. Another situation happened over there, some for some wrongdoing, and I left there after the 23 season, and I was at a really wasn't tripping off of the loss or anything. I was worried where I'm going to land next, and unfortunately, I decided to take a year off doing Division One college baseball, play by play for Division One level, and I just did community college baseball, something like for 1 year because a lot was going on. But things are better for me because I did some play by play for a college summer league team over in the East Bay, over in Alameda, and just it was at that time I really wasn't honestly really didn't care about the Niners. Whatever happens, if they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. Whatever happens, so be it. So it was disappointing, but it was just I've kind of was in that subdued mood that night watching the Super Bowl. I wasn't getting too excited. I just was, because there was some other things in my life I was just trying to, yeah. But in the present, though, as we looking forward to this season, this year, the 2024 season marks the two anniversaries of the 49ers, the last Super Bowl win, their win over the San Diego Chargers, and go all the way back to 1984 when the Niners this year will be celebrating the 40th anniversary of that. That club won 15-1, and they beat Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins, which that was my first ever Super Bowl I watched on TV as an 8-year-old down at Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto back in January of 1985.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a good year this year, and hopefully we geared up to actually get over the line. It's always tough getting back to the Super Bowl, but I think we've got the roster to do that. I'm going to be honest. I mean, normally on our podcast in the UK, the 49 Fifth, the UK show, at this point of the season, I would be making bold predictions that we're going to go 20-0. We're going to win every single game,
Yeah,
and the Super Bowl absolutely undefeated. But this year, I've got us down as having a 12-5 record at the end of the regular season. I can see us losing some games against teams that you wouldn't necessarily expect us to get beat by. I can see us winning games that are going to be tough games on the road as well. But I think this season it's going to be a little bit nervous for the fan base.
of
I've got a
course,
feeling that we're
of
not going to
course,
look as good.
of course. Of
Yeah,
course, and then, excuse me, and then also the Niners. You start off that schedule. We're gonna dig into this schedule as we continue on Niners Radio 49 special edition of the 49er our 2024 preview with our guest host Lee Gowland representing the 49ers in the United Kingdom, not 49ers UK. They're in London. That he has his own podcast show. As looking at that 49ers schedule, we looking at that schedule for 20. Take a look at the schedule. As we look at, they're going to start the season on Monday night. I was just waiting for this to download. Take a little bit of time to slowly download. So looking at the preseason, looking at the you look at the schedule. You got to look at the schedule.
I do. Yeah.
Yep, we
So
start at week
I've
one. Week one, they'll play against the New York Jets, and that's a 5:15 start 9 days from now. And then in week two, they got the Minnesota Vikings, and that could be a win. They hadn't won a game up there since 1992 when the Vikings played at the old Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, and that's going to be at 10 a.m. Kickoff time. The Vikings have just been decimated by so many injuries. They lost their rookie quarterback for the season with an injury, and
Yeah.
one of their players tragically died in a horrible car accident. So there's a lot going on there. And
Yeah.
then,
So the Vikings game is going to be the official 49ers watch party in London.
and that
So
is going to be a 10 a.m. kickoff our time. So we're looking at about a little bit after 6 o'clock
yeah,
in the
so it's six
UK.
o'clock. 6 o'clock in the UK. The tickets went on sale on Wednesday. No, Thursday. Tickets went on sale Thursday. There was two types of tickets: a standard ticket and a VIP ticket. They've got a VIP section, but that's only limited to 25 people. So that's sold out within 24 hours.
Yeah, just tell
The
us more
stand,
about that though. The how much it's like going to a regular football game, right?
what going to the watch party?
Yes.
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. So basically, they bring in the stadium atmosphere. They do the player call outs at the start of the game. They get the defense chants going. It just gets everybody into the atmosphere of what it would be like when you're at the stadium. They'll have big screens all the way around the bar so you can watch it. There's going to be an alumni there. The alumni normally mixes with the fans during the game, and before the game. The VIP package that you get allows you into a VIP area, which is the upstairs of the bar. It's where the alumni will be pretty much most of the time, the alumni and the family, but also the media. So we've got a radio station over in the UK called Talk Sport. They will be set up in the VIP area, and also Sky Sports NFL. They will be set up in the VIP area as well.
And they got play-by-play announcers too calling the game right there.
No, so we use the commentary. We use the commentary from the feed. So it's whoever the commentators are on the American broadcast. That's who we get.
That game's going to be that watch party for all the Niners fans who are watching in the UK. This game will be on in the America, in the U.S. This game will be locally in the Bay Area and in the Minneapolis Upper Midwest markets. That will be on CBS, KPIX CBS 5 here in the Bay Area, and I think it's CBS 4 in Minneapolis will be picking up the American broadcast. And so who's going to be the guest of the Niners alumni going to be at this event?
I am not at liberty to say. So I'm the only person that knows from the UK, but I've been sworn to secrecy. They don't want to announce the guest until the touchdown in London.
We won't go in full detail with that though. We will not go into full detail. But how much they say pounds, right?
Yeah. So VIP ticket would be £49 in dollars. I think that's going to be about $70.
Woo! For £70, so that's
65. It'll be $65.
that's how much you're paying. That's how much the equivalent of you're paying for to go see a regular football game out here in America. But you're paying almost 100 just per ticket. That's very interesting. I'm learning something new about these watch parties, though. And then how about for the food though? Do they charge for food though too, or it
Yeah.
comes with food, or how's that?
Yeah, they charge for everything. So the main event is free. You register for a ticket and you get in free. The only charge is for the VIP access area, which is the £49, which works out at $64.68. The VIP access area gets you one free drink as you go in. It gets you priority event to the venue, so you have your own queue. And bearing in mind, there's only 25 tickets available for VIP. There's only 25 people in that queue. The other queue is going to have 475 people because the venue holds 500. Once you get in, you get your free drink. You get a photo opportunity with the alumni that's there. You get your own area and guaranteed table and chairs. And a big screen right in front of where you sat. And that's pretty much all you get from the VIP ticket. Everybody, including standard, gets the opportunity to win the raffle prizes. So normally what the 49ers do is send over raffle prizes that are signed, the likes of a signed football, signed photos, jerseys, that type of thing. And those are auctioned off, or those are raffled off at the end of each quarter. So there'll be four raffles, the end of the first quarter, end of first half, end of third quarter, end of the game. As well as that, they also do giveaways. Now, the giveaways they give out are the type of things that you get when you go into Levi's, when they have the special giveaways on, when you go through, you swipe your ticket, you get through security, and there's somebody sat there or stood there with a box of giveaway items like a bobblehead, a rally towel, stuff like that. And they'll have all that at the watch party because they want it to be like an authentic experience of going to the game without actually being at the game.
Wow. I mean, they got a good that weekend. I think the day before the Niners and Vikings game, they're going to have the San Francisco Giants. You never been to a Giants game out here, baseball game out here?
I
In the,
haven't. I haven't been
they're
lucky enough to get out when
they're
Giants
going to
have
be
been playing.
yeah, they're going to be giving away a 49ers hat. Will have the Giants SF logo, and they'll have a red bill and a khaki tan cap. That's a giveaway in about 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Right.
Yep. That's a good giveaway. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go to that Saturday game because yours truly will be doing a high school football public address announce for George Washington High School, my alma mater here in the city. In fact, I'm going to share you this the backdrop of our stadium, and you're
I,
going to
I was
really
just
like this.
about to ask whether or not George Washington is the. Yeah, that's the one.
Did you see the stadium?
Yeah.
What do you think with the Golden Gate Bridge in the backdrop?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We walked past that back in 2022.
Oh, the bridge.
And
Okay. Okay.
yeah, we
Yeah.
walked past George Washington High School.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, in the future, when you ever get back out here, if it's no, depending when you get, I know we were off. We had the conversation the other day off the air. You don't have the pounds this year to come around. You should check out a George Washington High School football game. You would really
Yeah,
like
I'd
it.
love to.
The backdrop, probably the best high school stadium in America.
Yeah, I mean that is just so scenic. It's unbelievable.
I mean, the late John Madden, if you ever wanted to do a high school football game, John Madden would just love it. Madden would love it. Imagine bringing the Madden Cruiser, trying to hard to park up there.
Yeah,
John Madden would love the Palace up there up at George Washington.
yeah, sure he would.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep on. We're gonna keep on our podcast. We are gonna continue to look at the schedule as we back on our share screen and the Niners though. So the 49ers, their next opponents after you got a big one with the LA Rams, and of course the Rams hit with some injuries right now, but they got some young players. But Matthew Stafford is no spring chicken.
Yeah, so originally on my 12-5 predictions, I had this down as our first loss. I've now changed my mind when I've had a look at the Rams roster. They've just getting rid of, or they've just traded away one of their better linebackers. Their defense wasn't particularly that good anyway, especially with the loss of Aaron Donald. And
The
now that
retirement, right?
and now that they've just traded away one of the captains on defense, I think that's going to weaken them further. So it's not worrying me as much. So we're potentially going to win that game now.
Mm-hmm.
And the one
Yeah.
after that, the New England Patriots. So again, every year we do bold predictions, and every year I predict that the 49ers are going to put a 50 burger on someone. And this season I've gone with the Patriots in week 4. So that's the game where I think we're going to absolutely unload on a team and put up 50 points plus. I mean, the Patriots,
You have the Patriots
yeah,
franchise. I mean, we can you think about where this franchise was 3 decades ago when they were struggling, but when they were struggling, but you look back in perspective. Now this is a total different franchise. I believe this is going to be for the first time. I believe since 1997. I think since 97, 96 or 97 that neither I think since '96 that this season will not involve either Bill Belichick or Pete Carroll as a head coach.
Yeah,
That's this was a franchise that Bob Kraft modeled them as the 49ers. Of all the success they had for more than 2 decades, Brady is now gone. He's going to be doing part of the Fox broadcast team. And it also got to remember uh, also Pete Carroll, who once upon a time was the Niners defensive coordinator, taking running the is now it now that the Patriots are going through a rebuilding, but the Niners in quite some time have had some pretty good success in several meetings against the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots are back in the Bay Area for the first time in 8 years, and that's going to be a
yeah.
winnable game for San Francisco.
Oh
Patriots
yeah,
are in
yeah.
complete rebuilding.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just saying, I think that's the game where I think the 49ers going to put a 50 burger on someone against the Patriots.
50. Yeah, and then week 5, Niners and the Arizona Cardinals. That's going to be bad. I mean, this is going to be interesting. A divisional game. They're going to be taking on the Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. That's going to be an explosive offense. That's a team that should improve, though.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm expecting a lot better things from the Arizona Cardinals this
Me
season
too.
than what we saw last season.
And that's
Picking up Marvin Harrison Jr. was a fantastic pickup. They've already got Mike Wilson from Stanford. I rated him as a wide receiver. I kind of hoped that we would pick up Mike Wilson. And now they've got a couple of good receivers that Kyler Murray can get the ball out to. Not that they haven't had good receivers in the past, of course, because obviously they had D Hop, they had Hollywood Brown, and they just couldn't get the ball out to them.
right. And then that weekend, of course, it's going to be alumni weekend out at Santa Clara. And I believe Patrick Willis is going to get his Hall of Fame ring. Then it's the short week. They have the right back, no rest for the weary, no breaks. On the 10th, on that Thursday, they'll play the Seahawks on up in Seattle. And of course, the Seahawks got a new head coach, and I think this is going to be their sixth straight win against Seattle. And
Yeah,
then 10 days later, the rematch of Super Bowl 58. This time it'll be at Levi Stadium. This, by the way, will mark I believe this is going to mark 20. This is going to mark, I believe, in the regular season. This is going to be for the second time in 3 years that they will play each other. This is going to be, I think, since 18, 19, 22, and then the Super Bowl. This would mark for the fifth time in the last 7 years that the Niners will be playing the Kansas City Chiefs either in the regular season or in the Super Bowl or regular season. And this is going to be a big game, the game of the day. And, a lot of emotions going to be coming in this ball game.
yeah, and pretty much all of them have turned out to be pivotal games. Because if you go back to that 2018 game against Kansas City Chiefs, that's when Jimmy Garoppolo did his ACL,
Yeah,
trying to run into the end zone, and he was never ever the same player after that.
I think you're
The
right. You're
Yeah,
right.
I mean, if you watch him play those 5 games towards the end of the 2017 season, he was a completely different player. He had plenty of confidence. He had plenty of mobility. He could get away from pressure. He could extend the play. But after that Kansas City Chiefs game, when he came back, he was completely different.
Yeah.
He was seeing ghosts all the time. He couldn't move about very well, and it showed. It showed that injury pretty much killed his career.
Yep. And then that was, and then, then week 8 against Dallas, that's going to be the NBC game. Niners will be playing the Cowboys again, second straight year. I think for the fourth time, including postseason within the last 3 years. That's going to be a National Tight Ends Day. I'm probably going to wear my 1994 49ers throwback Brent Jones jersey for that game. And then, after that, it's going to be the bye week. Right after those two big games, it's a bye week. And then as the schedule goes into the second half, they on the road at Tampa. That's an early game on the West Coast.
Yeah, so that
Then
Tampa game, potentially, if I do get out for a game this year, it could be Tampa away on the road.
right,
Because I can make a short hop over on the Friday and come back on the Monday.
that's
So that
not
would
that
be,
wouldn't be that bad, yeah. And then
yeah,
the Niners will play on the 17th against Seattle. That will be the salute to the service week on the 17th, and then you got the big one at Green Bay at Lambeau on the 24th. That would be on a Sunday, I believe. That's the week leading up towards Thanksgiving,
yeah.
and that's going to be the big game. That's going to have a lot of implications for towards home field advantage and playoff positioning. That's going to be a tough one in Green Bay.
It is, especially this time of year as well. You're getting towards the back end of November, start of December. The temperature's going to drop. Going up to Lambeau is always difficult to play in the winter time. Obviously, not quite winter there, but it's still going to have an impact. And then straight after that, we're at
It
the
shouldn't be
Bills
that
as
bad
well.
like it was nearly 2 years ago when the Niners came back and won that
Yeah,
game in
it
Green
should be
Bay
a
in the
bit better.
snow.
Yeah,
It'll be cold, but it won't be as bad like they had that snowstorm, that snow hit Green Bay. And then week 13, this is going to be a game that everybody is circling on the calendar. Niners will be on the NBC game. They'll be at Buffalo up in Western New York to take on the Buffalo Bills. Could be a potential preview of Super Bowl 59 up in up at Highmark Stadium, originally formerly known as Rich Stadium. That's going to be a game, a good interconference game. Josh Allen, of course, with the Fresno native with the Firestone High School. He's from the Fresno area, and that's going to be a
yeah,
good. That'll be a good game up in Buffalo. And then another interesting game is going to be the improvement of the Chicago Bears. They're going to have an explosive offense. The kid they got from USC. That's going to be a late game back at Levi Stadium. There is history between the Niners and Bears and some memorable postseason games, and that's going to be a big test. And then on the 12th, another short week. Then they'll play the Rams at Levi Stadium, and they'll be playing at Levi Stadium and that's going to be the kickoff. And then, um, can you hold on one sec?
yeah, no problem.
Give me one sec. Hey, Lee. Hello.
Hey, Brian.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Sorry
Still
about
here,
that.
Brian. No
Yes.
problem, mate.
Yeah. So they get the Rams on Thursday, December 12th, 5:15, and that's going to be on Amazon Prime. I think the Niners and Rams could split a pair, or it could
Yeah,
be either a
I
sweep
think they're
or
going
a
to split
split.
a pair this season.
Yep. And then 10 days later, they'll play the Dolphins. The week of Christmas could be a preview of a rematch of Super Bowl 19. Could be a preview, another preview of Super Bowl 59 down South Florida, and that's going to be a late game. That's a CBS game. 125 our time. That'd be 425 Eastern Standard Time. And then the rematch of the NFC Championship on the 30th, the day
Yeah, that
after my
should be a good
birthday.
one, that.
That's a
Yeah,
Monday
that,
night game. And then the regular season finale against the Cardinals as well. So you say 12-5. I'm going to go 13-4, maybe 14-3.
So I did go 12-5, but like I said, looking at the Rams, because I expected us to split those. I expected the Rams to win down in Levi's South. But now I'm thinking we maybe going to do the double over them again, sweep them again this season. So it could be 13-4.
Yeah,
I'll probably stick to 12-5 because that was me good feeling to begin with.
absolutely. Go with yeah. The Niners have not won 14 games in a regular season since 1992. I was a
Yeah,
sophomore in high school when the last time they won 14 games. So
I've got to be honest. I'm really worried about this week one game against the Jets. The O
Yeah,
line's banged up, and if we don't have Trent Williams in there,
the I hope, yeah, and then the Jets are not a slouchy team either. I
no,
mean,
on defense, it'll be good.
Robert
See,
Sala,
they've got Robert Sala. They've now got Yvonne Kinlaw playing right next to Quinn Williams.
right,
Yeah, it's
and
going to be an interesting game.
we got Paul Hope who's watching us online, just giving us some great love. Um, uh, and I think he's from the UK.
He is.
He's
He's actually vice president of the
vice.
49er Faithful UK.
We're okay,
So Paul is one of the hosts on the 49er Faithful UK podcast, and he's also the main host on the 49er Faithful UK live show, which is on Wednesday night, 12 o'clock PST, so
right.
noon.
The thing I like about when we have these podcasts, because I'm trying to go global myself though, and this is
So Paul is the host of the show that you'll be coming on with me next Wednesday.
right, right. I mean, it's great to have these things. To have these events. And I'm trying to get Niners Radio 49 to be in a be out there in a kind of in a
Global
way kind of
capacity.
capacity, trying to get funds, and maybe down the road when the Niners ever play down there in UK, we could do a special podcast when I'm down there for a whole week or so.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yep,
sounds good to me.
yep. So who do you like out of the AFC to represent the Super Bowl?
Well, you can't look past the Chiefs, can you? Unfortunately, you just can't look past them. The Chiefs are going to be there or thereabouts. The Ravens are. I've got to say, I don't fancy the Dolphins. I did maybe 2 seasons ago. I thought they had a chance. Don't see them making a run at it. Joe Burrows, he's going to come back fit, fully fit. The Bengals might have an opportunity. Obviously, the Bills. You've got Josh Allen. He's now going to be playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. Now that he's been voted the most overrated quarterback by his peers of all people. So he's going to be playing a little bit more determined. But yeah, you've got to look at the Ravens and you've got to look at the Chiefs. It's one of those two.
Okay, we got 2 minutes. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
Your thought? So, or just less than that. Wednesday nights. It's the tell us the show again. So for all of our
It's
viewers.
so it's the 49er Faithful live show on a Wednesday night. Like I said, it's noon PST. And what we tend to do during the season is we don't review games or preview games on the live show because we use the podcast for that. So we'll pick something else. It'll either be a player, it'll be something the organisation's done, it might be a piece of history, and we'll discuss that with the fans.
Okay. Yeah, I know you recently stated on Facebook that you will not be coming out here this year. You guys kind of parted unfortunately, but hey, we're gonna be we'll be feeding content back and forth. And it's a busy time of this year as August as the dog days of August coming to an end. As now we getting close to flipping the calendar to the fall. It never ends, and should be a good year. Niners Radio 49 will be out there for all of 49ers content. And Lee, thank you for coming on. We'll talk to you again real soon. We'll catch up sometime
No
down
problem,
the
Brian.
stretch drive during the holidays or so.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. Catch you
All right.
later.
Talk to you soon.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Go Niners. All right. So that's Lee Gowland, the chapter of the 49ers faithful of the UK. Check them out. They have Wednesday podcasts. And as a reminder, 49ers Radio 49 will be giving you all the sights and sounds again as we begin. This will begin my 7th year involved with Niners Radio 49. This is my 3rd year being a full-time mediator and information director for Niners Radio 49. Of course, shout out to Brian Bauer giving me this gig 2 years ago, taking over for him and for a couple years ago. So taking over for him and Miss Dina Howard. and continuing with the legacy of Niners Radio 49. Just a reminder coming up, Niners will be taking on the New York Jets in interconference matchup for Monday Night Football. That's 9 days from now on September the 9th. That would be on ESPN, ABC, and on the Niners flagship station, KBR 6 or KGO 810, known as The Spread. KGO 810 is The Spread. Greg Papa, Tim Ryan with the call, and on 107.7 FM The Bone and Sacktown Sports for our good friends up there in Sacramento. Sacktown Sports, 11:40 a.m. Greg Papa, Tim Ryan with the call, and also 9 days for our season premiere of 49er Tailgate, hosted by yours truly, Brian Professor B. Davis, out at 49 Faithful Boulevard, Niner Empire Row. We begin. This is our 10th anniversary. We're kicking off, which now will be beginning our 11th season down at Empire Row. We'll be giving you all the sights and sounds. Co-hosted with my man Antonio Arvalo, the head president of the Gold Bar. So for the latest news on 49ers and so much more, go to 49ers.com. Check us out on all of our content at youtube.com/at Niners Radio 49, and check us out also on our Instagram page, instagram.com/at Niners Radio 49. Instagram.com, Niners Radio 49. For now, thank you for watching the special presentation of 49ers 2024 pre 49ers season preview special. Brian Professor B. Davis for Niners Radio 49. Niners Radio 49 is association with the Satellite Digital Media News Network, your exclusive network home of San Francisco 49ers football 24/7. I'm Brian Professor B. Davis. Thank you for watching this special presentation.